Tactical time this week with an alternative twist to what has become an old favourite. It's the Vulcan 2 Tactic. Hello and welcome to AAR on Air, and this week it's the turn of the AGT Vulcan 2 Tactic. And no, I didn't accidentally miss off the all off of that. It is just tactic, not tactical. At this point, it's also worth just clarifying that AGT is a company that doesn't bring out the Vulcan 3 and leave the Vulcan 2 as an out-of-date gun in their range. When they bring out a new gun, it is to add and complement their range. And the Vulcan 2 and Vulcan 3 are really quite different guns. And the Vulcan 2 Tactic is the main body of the standard 2, but with a very different stock on it. Now, before I start this review, I will admit to becoming quite a fan of the AGTs, as I've used most of them over time. So I'm expecting big things from this all-black number, especially when it comes to the accuracy section later on. But first of all, let's take a look at the stats and then onto the walkaround. This is 910mm or around 35 3/4 inches long with a 500mm length barrel. That's just over 19.5 inches for our Imperial cousins. It tops the scales at 3.7 kilos or around 8.15 pounds unscoped. The air tank on this is 290 cc's, and this is available in sub 12 foot-pounds or full power FAC. The ultimate power output in this form is going to be caliber dependent and your personal choice of power versus shot count. Because even though this is, like all AGTs, regulated, the higher the power, the more impact it will have on your overall shot count. That said, this is from Vector Air, who are the main importer for AGTs, and each one goes through their workshop and gets the orange mod, which basically means in sub 12 foot-pounds the balance of power is set to maximise the potential shot count from each and every gun. So, quite a claim, but it does work. First though, let's just do a walk around. Starting right out in the front, that shrouded barrel has almost the same diameter as the air reservoir underneath. It has a threaded front end, but again, it isn't standard 1/2 inch UNF. This is an M14 thread, which is more European, I suppose. One thing to point out though with this shrouded barrel is this V2 is pretty quiet, but you can add the AGT silencer and then, boy, is it whisper quiet. And just because it's their own add-on silencer, what some people would class as non-standard thread, it isn't at an inflated price either. In fact, it is competitive with most of the well-known and well-thought-of silencer or moderators, indeed probably cheaper. Underneath this barrel is that air cylinder with an Airgun Technologies gauge to show you your pressure right up to the 250 bar max pressure or max fill pressure. Now, from this point moving back, we come to what this Tactic version is all about. The stock is a high quality polymer item and makes this V2 longer than standard and also less of an issue in damper conditions if you're out and about doing a spot of pest control. There is a grooved rail on the underside and plenty of grippy holds on the forestock to make sure you're non-slip. But I see this being used rested on some gate post or fencing out in the field most likely. The stock flows back to that pistol grip, which is quite chunky and ambidextrously shaped, and I do find it quite comfortable to use. Now I have longer fingers, and to me the grip to trigger position is a little on the short side, but no deal breaker. The trigger is really nice to use and has the safety built into the trigger area and is positioned in front of the trigger and is a push forward for fire and pull back for safe. Moving back further still on that stock, we come to the height adjustable cheek piece, which is easily done with the use of a hex key on the right hand side. Moving right to the back, we come to the butt pad, and this is also adjustable on an up and down slide action to find your preferred position. Moving back up and to the top, there is the Picatinny rail for your chosen scope, and directly below this is the biathlon style side lever, which is fully interchangeable from its current position on the left hand side to the right hand side with ease. The action on this is really nice and smooth and has a sprung loaded opening action followed by that smooth pull back, and then it locks back for you to be able to load the magazine. At this point, it's just worth going back to that safety, because now the gun is cocked, that safety action becomes very crisp and defined. Push the side lever back and it locks back into place, again spring loaded. Let's just refresh our memories around the magazine on this V2, shall we? The nice thing here, of course, is that with all AGTs you get two supplied with the gun, along with their usual bag of goodies, including filler probe and tank connector, which I really like, a few spare O-rings, a pen, a key ring, and of course one of the AGT padded carry case, which are very high quality and you can keep everything in it. Now, this is the 177 caliber, so you get a 15 round magazine. There are also 2.2 and 2.5 calibers available, and they hold 12 and 10 rounds respectively. To load this, turn the center anti-clockwise until it reveals the first pellet position. Then drop in your first pellet, keeping it quite close to the edge. And turn again, move it slightly to the left hand side, which makes it easier, otherwise you run the risk that it will drop through. So keep it nice and tight, no issue at all. Keep going until you're full. Once it's full, then simply return it to the gun. Pull back on that side lever until it locks back into place. Slide in your magazine, which is so smooth and finished almost to an invisible state. Bolt forward, you're ready to go. With that magazine loaded, it never gets in your way whether you're shooting this left or right-handed. Chrono test, and then we'll get this outside. I dropped in some heavier 10.34 grains because my experience has been that AGTs, whilst not particularly pellet fussy, have proven to give good results with this weight. Over the chrono, using 10.34 grains, it saw 710 feet per second, which is 11.58 foot-pounds or 15.7 joules. So just about exactly what you want. Right, let's drop a decent scope on this. My go-to at the moment is the Continental. I've tried others twice the price and still prefer this for clarity alone. Out at 50 metres then. 50. Let's not mess about. I'm expecting big things from this. Here goes. Target work then. It's actually quite a nice spring-like morning. Makes a change because we've had some terrible weather, but now the sun seems to be coming out. I'm getting happier. It's still a bit cool, but no wind this morning, so no excuses, I don't suppose. I tried shooting this a little earlier and I was all over the shop wondering what on earth was going off. Gave it a minute, came back, then we're back on form. Not the gun, completely me. So let's get some fresh targets out and let's have a go, shall we? Like I say, out at 50 yards, 50 meters this time. And then we're going to have some fun later with some paintballs and some golf tees. More of that a little later. First things first, let's go and put some targets out. Targets up, let's have a go. Vulcan 2 Tactic. Not tactical, tactic, whatever. It's never good to shoot straight after you've walked all that way, is it? Let's see how we go. I'll have that for a start. My fault, totally my fault. Pulled it again. You can just keep going and going and going. What they're doing, they're hitting the side of the bull all the way around. And I've had a couple of flies which are my fault, but every one of them is touching the 10. Come on, 50 yards and I'm just at a small tripod rest. These things are really, really good. They're incredible. I mean, every one of those, if you're a pest control, is a headshot, no question whatsoever. The accuracy is just unquestionable with these, and whichever AGT I seem to pick up, it just, every time. I mean, I love my BSA R10 because that's just as accurate. These, they just pick them up and they just hit it. And if you miss, it's my fault. It's plain and simple. It's just my fault if I miss. Let's go and have some fun with some other targets, shall we? So yet again, 100 metre walk, 50 there, 50 back. We'll get straight onto it and let's just see what we can do. I've just put, I don't know how many I've put up, 50 cal, I think they are, paintballs. Let's have a look, shall we? They look very small in the scope. It's hit. it's exploding it, but it's also knocking some of the others off, which is a shame, really. But you're just hitting them every time. There's another one left up there, but I've run out, so I'll have a bit of a reload. You're supposed to fire these things, not shoot at them. These are great fun. These are just great fun. I'm going to put some more up. Followers of the channel will know that I usually do what I've affectionately called the beer bottle top challenge. And that is, you pick your distance that you're likely to be shooting any quarry with, put beer bottle tops out at that range, and you really need to be hitting those 10 out of 10. If you are doing, then you can take a shot of prey, headshot, no problem at all. Look at the size of these things. And we're hitting them every time. Absolutely amazing. Let's have another go. This is just fun. There's going to be yellow paint all over the place down there. That's the T split in half. Let's just take the accuracy as read, shall we? Absolutely fantastic. I love this Continental scope. If you can possibly afford it. I mean, it's half the price of some of the ones that everybody's raving at the moment. Absolutely half the price. It is amazing scope. But match it up with a gun as accurate as the AGT is. You've got one heck of a package. I know not everybody can afford it, but you've got to have something to aspire to, haven't you? I've enjoyed it. Love it. Absolutely love it. Go back to the studio. I'm going to carry on. Another one. Oh, yes. Well, I really didn't expect to be disappointed, and I just love shooting these things. They make you feel so capable. At this point, I don't need to get too gushy over this because I really like the Vulcans, and I'm wanting to get my hands on an FAC V3. I'm looking to take some day stakes off my ticket to maybe replace with AGTs. It really does seem like there is an AGT for everyone. Then again, there are some amazing guns, not only in their range, but within some of the other manufacturers from that neck of the woods, making the desire to go for the usual couple of brands a little more, well, questionable, maybe? In conclusion, it's all that I expected it to be, and even though it is in the higher end of the price range, at around £1,500 UK, it makes it a little bit more special for those who can afford it, and it's something to aspire to maybe. You know, most people who shoot will have more than one gun, several often. Maybe having fewer and invest in quality like this is an option. Whatever your budget and preferences, this is a wonderful gun to shoot in sub 12 foot-pounds or full power. And I know a lot of people who shoot these. You can always tell who they are. They're the ones with a permanent grin on their faces. As always, I've enjoyed this one and hopefully you have too. If so, please give us the old thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, share, click the alarm notification bell, join in with the chats, etc. and visit the AAR On Air website. As always, a big thank you to Vector Air for getting hold of this V2 tactic, and of course a big thank you to you guys for watching. Stay safe and shoot safe, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Paintball time again, I think. Bye for now.